Julian Lewis follows Shedeur Sanders' lead at Colorado's Big 12 Media Days. Colorado true freshman quarterback Julian Lewis appears ready to embrace the legacy left behind by Shedeur Sanders. Representing the Buffaloes at the Big 12 Media Days, Lewis turned heads by striking a familiar pose, holding up his wrist to show off a flashy watch. Coined wrist up by Buffalo's fans instantly recognized the gesture as the iconic celebration popularized by Sanders during his tenure as the Buffalo's starting quarterback. Sanders' impact at Colorado went well beyond his impressive stats. While guiding the Buffaloes to a 9-4 record last year, the 23-year-old signal caller injected energy and swagger into the program, symbolized by his now famous watch celebration. After touchdowns or significant plays, Sanders would hold up his wrist, highlighting the moment in a move that captured national attention and helped transform the image of Colorado football under head coach Deion Sanders. Now, with Shedeur off to the NFL, Colorado has handed the keys of the offense over to Lewis, a highly touted freshman viewed by many as the future of the program. The young quarterback's decision to replicate Sanders' celebration sends a clear message that he understands the expectations and legacy associated with leading this team. Choosing Lewis as one of Colorado's representatives for Big 12 Media Days further emphasized how highly the coaching staff views him. It's uncommon for true freshmen who haven't yet taken a college snap to represent their teams on such a prominent stage, making Colorado's choice even more significant. This decision may signal the coaching staff's belief that Lewis possesses the maturity and talent required to succeed this season at a high level early in his collegiate career. Lewis's mirroring of Sanders' watch celebration is more than just a playful nod. It indicates that Lewis is ready to assume a leadership role, and he's comfortable stepping into the spotlight Sanders helped create. For a Colorado team entering a critical season in 2025, Lewis's confidence and poise will be vital if they hope to contend in the highly competitive Big 12, should he earn the starting role over a transfer Caden Salter. With Lewis at quarterback, the Buffs are looking ahead with optimism. By embracing Sanders' legacy, Lewis is demonstrating to Colorado fans that he understands the responsibility ahead of him and is eager to add his own chapter to the Buffalo's story. Under the bright lights of the Big 12 Media Days in Arlington, Texas, a new chapter in Colorado football quietly turned its first page. The stadium buzzed with reporters, fans, and analysts hungry for sound bites and headlines. But amid the flash and fervor, two figures stood out, not for what they said, but for what they symbolized. Shedeur Sanders, the seasoned and electrifying quarterback of the Colorado Buffaloes, walked confidently through the maze of interviews and photo ops. His aura, equal parts charisma and conviction, commanded attention. He had been here before. He knew the cameras, the questions, the scrutiny. And yet, right behind him, walking a beat slower, stood Julian Lewis, the prodigious five-star quarterback commit and one of the most heralded high school players in the nation. Julian wasn't scheduled to speak, nor was he officially part of the Media Days lineup, but his presence was no accident. Coach Deion Sanders has always had a plan, the mentor and the protege. For Julian Lewis, still months away from graduating high school, this was more than just a sneak peek into his future. It was a masterclass. Deion had invited Julian not just to observe, but to absorb. And who better to learn from than Shedeur, a quarterback who had not only survived the media frenzy, but had thrived in it. Andrew could see the uncertainty, but his parents were ready to provide a safe haven from the gender bias that had branded him the man Shedeur. Shedeur's been like a big brother, Julian said in a rare on-the-record moment. He's shown me how to carry myself, how to handle pressure, and how to lead. The bond between the two quarterbacks was evident. Shedeur, once a freshman navigating the stormy waters of college football under the media's microscope, now played the role of mentor with quiet assurance. Every handshake, every smirk, every thoughtful pause before answering a question, Julian watched closely. Where Shedeur spoke with polish and presence, Julian listened with intensity and curiosity. And in this quiet dynamic, something powerful was happening. The torch was being passed, not with ceremony, but with subtle, intentional moments. Coach Prime's long game, Deion Sanders, is not just building a football team. He's crafting a brand, a legacy, and a movement. Inviting Julian Lewis to the Media Days wasn't just about giving a teenager a taste of the spotlight. It was about preparing the next leader of Colorado football to step into his role, not just as a player, but as a face of the program. Exposure breeds composure, Coach Prime said during one of his media sessions, flashing that signature smile. Why wait until he's on campus to start teaching him how to lead? Dion understands the value of media. He knows that in today's game, a quarterback's success isn't just measured in touchdowns, but in tweets, interviews, and endorsements. Julian Lewis, already a social media darling and NIL magnet, is entering a world where the lines between athlete and influencer blur. Media savvy is no longer optional, it's essential. And under Dion's watchful eye, Julian is getting a head start. Big shoes, bigger expectations. Shedeur Sanders is more than just a quarterback at Colorado. He's a cultural touchstone, representing talent, ambition, and a new narrative for black quarterbacks in college football. Following in his footsteps is no small task, especially for someone as young as Julian Lewis. But if the media days were any indication, Julian isn't shrinking from the challenge. When a reporter jokingly asked if he was ready to be the next Shedeur, Julian smiled and replied, "I'm learning from the best, but I'm going to be the first me." It was a simple line, but it said everything. Julian knows the weight of expectations. He knows comparisons are inevitable, but he also knows that with guidance from Shedeur, Coach Prime, and the entire Colorado ecosystem, he's being set up not to imitate, but to innovate. The bigger picture, beyond the X's and O's, beyond the rankings and projections, there's something transformative happening at Colorado. The presence of Julian Lewis at Big 12 Media Days wasn't just a publicity stunt or a recruiting flex. It was a signal. It signaled that Colorado isn't just thinking about the next game, they're thinking about the next generation. It signaled that mentorship, leadership, and media training are essential to the Buffalo's strategy as playbooks and practice reps. And most of all, it signaled that in the world of college football, where hype is fleeting and heroes are made weekly, the Buffaloes are building something that lasts. A glimpse into the future. As the media days wound down and the buzz turned to other teams and storylines, Julian Lewis quietly slipped out of the limelight. But those who noticed him, who saw how he mirrored Shedeur's movements, how he engaged with staff and smiled for photos with young fans, those people understood. They saw the beginning of something. Shedeur Sanders will one day leave Boulder, his legacy secured and his jersey likely immortalized. When that day comes, another young man will take the field, one who watched, learned, and followed the lead not just of a great quarterback, but of a mentor, a brother, and a pioneer. And when that moment arrives, we won't be surprised. We'll remember media days. We'll remember the look in Julian Lewis' eyes. We'll remember that greatness doesn't just happen, it's passed down, one moment at a time.